Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of A Little Bit Unhinged. Casey's here.
Hey, guys.
Also, we have our second illustrious special guest co-host. Say hello.
Hey, it's Melissa.
And what are you here to do? Could you tell us? Everybody's not going to get to see your hands while you do it, because that's really the best part of it. But if you just do that again for everybody.
I'm ready to break down some games for you.
There it is. DJ Melissa on the mic, ready to break down some games for you. Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
You delivered dinner, so that's what made you allowed to be on the show.
That's fair.
So I really appreciate that. Great work. You're here to talk about gaming.
I am.
I just need everybody to know I do not have a gun to her head. There's no gun to her head. She came here willingly to talk about gaming.
Don't believe him. He's lying. She is our hostage.
We've stolen you for gaming. No, but it's a fun thing to talk about because you've kind of just started your gaming journey. You got yourself a sweet rig.
I did.
With fancy... What is your color pattern on your sweet rig right now?
It's just the rainbow right now.
Okay.
It's going through all the colors.
My chosen color palette, too.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
Have you considered any customization, or are you just pleased with rainbow?
I'm pleased with the rainbow right now.
All right. I like it.
I think I need to get more involved in my gaming setup before I start changing things up.
You know what, that's reasonable. But you know what? That's a good starter. Let's talk about your current setup, which is, I think, if I can safely say, mostly kind of play on your lap and your laptop for the most part.
It is, yes.
But while you're doing other things, knitting, cooking steak, watching TV.
Mostly watching TV.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watch TV and then do something easy on my laptop gamer for the most part.
Nice. Casual relaxation, that sort of thing. Except for when you're playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't want to get distracted. We're going to come back to Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
But I still want to talk about your setup. Do you have a dream setup in mind? Like if I gave you a bucket of $5,000 just to do on your gaming setup, because I'm going to ask Casey the same thing now that I thought of it, because it's a brilliant question. But what is yours? Do you have any idea for that?
I think I'd really like one of those curved monitors. Our friend, one of our friends has that, and I've watched him play Baldur's Gate 3 on it, and it looks fantastic.
Pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Giant curved monitors are pretty pro. You have to have a giant curved monitor desk, but
Yeah.
they're pretty pro. Giant curved monitor. Have you thought about how clicky you'd like your keyboard to be?
I wish it click-clacked more.
Well, you want a nice clicky
I'm
clack.
a tactile typer.
Yeah, I like a clicky clack keyboard. Very important question. Color theme for everything.
Purple.
Good. Okay, nice purple color theme. We like that.
Maybe with some green mixed in.
Okay. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Your desk, does it have to convert to a standing desk sometimes? Or are you okay with just sitting and enjoying yourself?
Well, my desk is a standing desk already.
Oh, hey. Okay.
So I have the option of both.
Very nice. Great. All right, Casey, for you, you were console mainly, I think that's fair to say. But if you had an opportunity to get yourself a nice, slick setup somewhere.
Yeah, I would like a curved monitor as well. I think if I were to actually get into PC gaming, as our mascot decides to play with a squeak toy.
It's perfect time for squeak toy.
If I actually got into more PC gaming, because right now I just play indie games on my laptop, so I don't really need a big setup. But if I did, curved monitor, super cozy, comfy gaming chair, probably a grandma chair and not something that's actually for gamers.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, lots of LED lights, purples and blues probably.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Purple, team purple. I have I'm not going to say the gaming setup of my dreams, but I have a pretty kitted out, too big. I had to buy as big a desk as I could get just about to fit my two curved monitors, because I also think curved monitors are great and you should have one.
So you're living my dream already.
I am a little bit. Yeah, I am a little bit. Well, here's the thing. almost you two, if I could mention, you both have two lovely pets, right? I am my lovely pet. So my income just goes towards things like curved monitors, where sometimes you have vet bills and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I sure do.
yeah. So, okay, gaming setup, check.
Yeah.
All right.
Although I will say that my current game setup is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Because
agreed.
we are in the space where I'm normally playing
Yes.
my games, and I
Yes.
really like this room and
Yeah.
how I have it set up
The
for
room
my
is nice.
PlayStation.
Here's what I should mention. This is what I'll mention about this room. It is a beautiful living room that is also a gaming setup. So it's like it's like if you go to, this is going to be the stupidest thing I've ever said. It's like when you go to somebody's house that's like rich and they have a really fancy house, but then also their back room can be a basketball court. Like that's what we're talking about here. Like
You're
is
hyping it up a little bit.
this is a luxury hidden basketball court is what I'm calling this setup. And I know that nobody that's listening to this that hasn't seen it could picture this at all. And that brings me joy.
I imagine that they're picturing something much more extravagant than what my house is.
No, it's pretty extravagant. The mahoganies are mahoganying is what I'm saying.
I like your setup.
I do have dark
fantastic.
blue walls that I'm very proud of.
The walls are
Yes.
not only are the walls a delightful color. I don't see this color in people's houses very often, though not very many people let me in their house, so that's its own conversation. It's gorgeous, and it plays with the light so well, and there's lots of angles and natural light in here. Again, it's the shuffleboard court on a luxury yacht, is what I'm saying, people, if you can understand that. That all being said, Melissa's living room is also very nice and big. Got the staircase
Yes.
there that frames it very nicely.
Why, thank you.
It's very delightful. I live in a bachelor house. I don't have anything to speak about. I'm happy to have a couch that people can sit on. That's plenty.
No, I like your space though.
It's cozy enough. But see, I traded some of the luxury for having a pull up and down green screen. That's just what happens in a bachelor boy house that you just don't have here. This looks like a house that adult people live in. Both of your houses look like houses adult people live in. You would have guessed I was in a frat a week ago.
No, I don't think it's that bad.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. But
You do have
everything is
decorations.
delightful. You know what?
That's important.
This is the first time in my life that I've actually decorated, like really decorated. Like I owned my condo in Utah and I had like 3 things on the wall. And here I was like, you know what? I should just have some stuff on the wall. And I'm gonna get more stuff. Like I have some movie posters on the wall in my living room. 2 Godzilla, an Akira, and Transformers. Yes. But the Godzilla ones are great, and I've seen a bunch of the other ones from the same artist. They're amazing, and so I just want to deck the whole dang room out in them if I can get my hands on them one day. Anyway, I was distracted by the opulence of where we are, so let me move on. All right, so gaming specifically. The game that I knew that you kind of got into everything with is Baldur's Gate 3, as mentioned.
Right. That's why I purchased the laptop that I did.
Yes, that's why you got the solid gold gaming screaming machine
Correct.
that you have. It is for Baldur's Gate 3. I know that you have played it. Have you already beaten it? Have you gone all the way through it?
I've not gone all the way through it yet.
Not yet.
Because
Okay.
I am mostly playing it as a co-op.
Yep.
So I have not been playing it on my own.
Gotcha.
And me and my couple friends that I've been playing it with, we've kind of had other things happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't been playing it as much as I would like. But I think we've been talking about getting back into it again.
Coordinating that between 2 or 3 people can be a little bit of a challenge. Are you enjoying it, though?
I am. It's a lot of fun, and we've been having a lot of fun.
Nice.
So it's really enjoyable to... I really like the community of
Yep.
having friends and people to play with, and I get a lot out of that.
Yeah. I honestly, besides the gaming itself, which I would do no matter what, the community around gamers is pretty great, even though all the bad things that you hear about it, but especially like friend gamers.
Right.
Like that community is unique and fun, and I've talked about it on the show. The Rice Krispie treats was the door opening, but that was a pretty good piece of Casey and my friendship.
Yeah.
Is gaming and our connections there. So it's also an easy thing to connect to people with, which is also great. And I've always been excited for you that you jumped into it because of the shared joy that most of our friends have with it.
Right.
You know?
And I've always felt a little left out when everyone would talk about their gaming, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't even own a system to do any kind of gaming on.
Now you have a system.
And now I do.
Girl.
Although technically I have an Xbox One, but I got it for free and I've never turned it on.
Oh, I was going to say, why did you say technically? That's why you said technically.
Yeah.
Because you haven't turned it on. You have an X-Bone, huh?
X-Bone, that's what I used to call it.
That's what the kids in the street call it, the X-Bone.
And then when they came out with the Xbox One X, I called it the X-Bone X.
I don't know if I've ever heard that. I always heard butt sex box.
I think that's just like soda and pop from around the country. It's just regional.
Yeah.
It's regional. It's a regional dialect situation. Now, Casey, you have not really even thought. That's not your jam necessarily, the Baldur's Gate situation. Right?
No, I haven't played it.
Yeah. I have played it. I tried to get friends together, but it's the same situation where it's just hard to get people together regularly. Because what is great and what is bad about Baldur's Gate is it's basically just playing D&D, which is also very difficult to get people together, as we know, because we're in a shared D&D campaign that has never even gotten off the ground.
We've never even had one meeting yet.
Okay. Because the DM did it and then decided to work from space, basically.
Yeah, and the problem with that is the DM is who I'm also playing, is one of my Baldur's Gate 3 friends. So,
have you thought, does playing Baldur's Gate, did it make you want to do D&D more? Did it increase that?
Actually, I already had a pretty strong interest in doing D&D. And then when I heard that Baldur's Gate 3 was basically like playing D&D, but it's kind of done for you, that kind of got me really extra interested in that game.
Nice.
And that's why I decided this was my gateway drug into
this was your gaming
PC
gaming. Gateway drug. The other games that I'm familiar that you like to play, I'll let you describe, because I don't want to take away from the joy that you have by misdiagnosing them. So please talk to me about your other favorite sit down at your computer games to play.
Well, the two I play most are A Building Full of Cats.
Building Full of Cats. Let's fucking go.
Which is basically a hide and seek, or I can't think of what they're called, but like find the item.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's just it's like a room, because a building, you go to the first floor.
Like what used to be in the highlights magazines.
Yeah, and you just find cats. There's like 30 cats, 50 cats hidden, and you just
find all the cats. Click on the cats' little faces.
Click until you've found them all, and then you go to the next one, and that's pretty easy. So that's like a TV watching game,
Yes, sure.
And my other game is also a TV watching game, and it's Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams.
Yeah, Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams.
And that one I have put like 300 hours into, or something crazy.
That's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours. I mean, I am a fan of solitaire, just plain ass old Windows solitaire. Mm-hmm. And I've probably put a ridiculous amount of hours on single player, Las Vegas style, where you make money after you play so many, and you can only go through one time solitaire. So I get it. Everybody needs to have a mindless go-to.
Yeah.
Casey's a little bit more of an advanced gamer than us guys. Hers is Kirby.
Ooh.
Well, I was gonna say mine's Free Cell, but
Oh, Free Cell. Okay, no, we're back in. We're back in, guys. We're back in. Again, I was
or
just
Spider Solitaire. I like both
Spider.
of those.
Yeah, I like Spider too.
Or for anybody who had Windows XP, that pinball game.
Yes, Space Pinball.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved the pinball game.
Here's an interesting thing that I learned about Space Pinball. You guys may know this. I don't know. Space Pinball was actually a demo. There was Epic, the game company Epic is still around now, that was supposed to be released with Windows as a demo to their pinball game pack. It was supposed to have like 4 or 5 or whatever. But through a miscommunication, Microsoft never advertised that as a demo. So nobody really knew that it was an actual demo and not just a game that everybody just played on their computer, which was great. It was a great game of pinball, and I do like to sit around and play a little bit of pinball at home.
Sorry, guys, we might be
It's
pausing.
okay. We got a Mascot attack, ladies and gentlemen. Mascot attack. Good old Space Pinball. Fantastic game. I do own one of the pinball game sets there because I also like to sit down and play a little electronic pinball. And you know, when it's electronic, you can cheat and have like people running around, and you can do all kinds of stuff in electronic pinball. Pinball's an underrated game. Do you like pinball? Just as a in real world game?
Yes, it's my favorite arcade game.
Nice. Pinball, Casey?
Yeah, I always love pinball.
Pinball's great. Do you have a particular favorite or memorable in real world pinball game that you think about?
I like the Star Trek one.
So mine's a video game version of pinball, but Metroid Prime pinball for Nintendo DS was top tier.
Nice. I think my favorite actual in real life pinball is Black Knight. It's old, but it had, back in the pinball games where they all had like hard rock soundtracks, and they just like. I love that. I love that so much. You enjoyed that too. Mascot really enjoyed my hard rock pinball sound. All right. So that's your.
More things for everybody to listen to. This is how they play.
Do you have a thought about where you want gaming to go? Have you thought about like games that you want in the future? Have you thought about the kind of games you want to play that maybe you haven't looked into? Like, what are you thinking?
So, I kind of have, because I am really attracted to games that have a lot of story, like plot to them, which I think is why Baldur's Gate 3
very deliciously
is kind
plotted.
of intrigued me. I have a game that's been recommended to me that I'm planning on starting soon, which is What Remains of Edith Finch.
What Remains of
that
Edith
was
Finch. Oh yeah,
And that
it's mostly story.
is all basically, from what I hear, all story.
Yes.
But I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah. I've heard only good things.
And then, I'm not a big, first-person shooter.
Sure.
Also, those aren't good for me because I just, slide along walls because I can't.
Right. So we're not going to see you in the Call of Duty Championship,
No.
is what you're saying.
I am very bad at directing myself in games like that.
Fair.
And so if I can fall off a cliff, I will, because I need those walls to,
Understood.
keep me from going the wrong direction.
Is it the double,
Yeah, the twin
control
stick
two?
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because where you go in one direction, but you also have to be looking in that direction.
Yeah.
And
It does take a little bit to get used to that type of.
A lot of us have muscle memory for it.
And I just don't, since
Yeah.
the last gaming system I owned was a Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
I had a Nintendo and a Sega Genesis, and then that's where I stopped.
What do you remember? Some of your favorite games from those?
I do. So on Nintendo, I was really into the shooting games.
Okay.
With the duck hunt gun.
Oh yeah, the Zapper. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had 2 games. I had Duck Hunt, which I really liked.
That kind of was great.
And I had this other game that I loved called To the Earth. And it was basically, it was just a shooting game with the zapping gun. But you were fighting aliens and trying to get to Earth.
Nice.
So if you beat it, Earth kind of showed up on your screen. And I loved that game.
I'm not familiar with it at all, but I'm going to have to look it up.
It was really fun.
Because you are the To the Earth grand champion that I know now.
My dad is.
Fair enough.
I could never make it to Earth, but my dad could. And that was like a fun little thing that we did.
So have you considered VR?
I do have a MetaQuest. But I have only really played the Beat Saber on it so far.
Sure.
And I got the Star Wars game, but I haven't really played it very much yet. I haven't played the MetaQuest in probably about a year, so I need to maybe this is what I needed to.
This is your push to get back into it?
Get it started again.
Get back into it and play the Star Wars game?
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, none of it has the allure of finding 50 cats peacefully on your couch, right?
That is true.
That's championship level stuff, ultimately.
I think it's just, I've been using my computer in gamings just to like relax.
Yep.
And that's why doing jigsaw puzzles, I don't know if I really mentioned it, but Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams is exactly what it sounds like. You're just moving pieces on a table and putting a puzzle together.
Putting a puzzle together. How many pieces? Can you control the amount of pieces?
You can.
Whoa.
I usually choose the 1,000-piece puzzle.
Whoa.
I think the highest you can go.
Have you done all the puzzles available?
Not yet, but I'm making my way through them.
Nice.
Or through the initial pack, and then I'll have to buy the next pack, I guess.
Is it like you get the base game and then you have DLC?
Yes.
To add on to? You are a real gamer. You're into DLC?
Well, I haven't bought a DLC yet.
Oh, but you're ready.
What's coming?
But once it's going to come because I'm going to finish my free pack because Jigsaw Puzzle Dreams is a free game.
Oh, you're even free to playing it.
I am.
Girl? Goodness.
But once I do all the puzzles, I'm going to have to get the next
You're
pack.
going to have to get the next pack.
So that's where they get you.
Again, this isn't a visual medium, but if you can see her face when she said that's where they get you, it was perfect. about Jigsaw. So wait, what about Cat Find Frenzy? Was that free to play, or did you put some cash money down on that?
So the first one, my base one, which is the building full of cats.
That's right, Building Full of Cats.
I got it for free, but that's because friend of the show, Karen.
Yes, Karen hooked you up.
Bought it for me when I got my laptop.
That's right. Oh yeah, I gave you a bunch of games that you'll never play.
You did.
But it's okay, because I was never going to play them either.
What games?
Oh my gosh. So
many.
Over the years, in many Humble Bundles, I've collected multiple copies and unused copies of like 60 games or something. Mm-hmm. And I try to give them away during like 24 hours and stuff. But the nature of those games is the kind of games that everybody that would like to play them already has as well, because they've also bought all those bundles. Mm-hmm. I still have a metric butt ton of them. But it's the fun thing. I don't know if fun's the right word. The nice thing about gaming when you're starting and you don't care, like if you don't need to have the newest game that comes out, is there just so many games that are just like $5. Here's a pack of 10.
Yeah.
Free to play. There's lots of options when you're just like, here's a kind of game I like. What can I play? Mm-hmm. If you don't have to play, until we get you on the newest Call of Duty, and then it's over.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be bam, bam, bam.
Once you get your purple camouflaged gun skin,
you know it. I'm gonna leave those walls behind.
That should be the marketing slogan for Call of Duty. Leave those walls behind. Oh man, Casey, Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
So you've beaten it.
I have, yeah.
I almost beat it, but I just found that before I play what I think is probably the last chapter is when I can now play the DLC. So I've started the DLC.
Oh, nice.
So I'm making decent progress. I've got, so far, the best sword in the game you can get before the DLC. I mentioned this, I guess, on the podcast that, it hasn't released, right? Yes. Garger, Glitter Gamer Grain.
Yeah, I forget how to pronounce it. We looked it up, though.
Damarung. I think that's actually close. I think it's like Goddard.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, I will tell you about this, Melissa. That game is very plot heavy. That game is mostly cutscene.
Yeah, you can walk 15 steps and then there's a cutscene. And then you'll finish that cutscene and walk 15 steps, and then there's another one. And then you might do a fight.
You might do a fight.
And then there's a cutscene.
I've done a lot more side missions, and there's more cutscenes and a little bit more fighting, but it is very plot strong.
Yeah.
I'll say that for sure.
I do like a plot strong game.
Yeah.
The only Final Fantasy that's really intrigued me is the one where you have to push a car through the desert.
Oh, 15.
Yeah.
Only because
that's going to be a hot take for a lot of people in our listening realm.
we have talked about 15 more than normal people have, I think.
Okay.
Positively on this show.
Yeah, I do enjoy 15. It's just there's a lot of gaps in the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some struggling to make a cohesive plot.
I just love
it was enjoyable overall.
I just love the thought of a mechanic in the game is that you have to push a car through a desert.
Yeah, push the car. Yeah, they start you right off understanding what the hell you're going through. Yes.
It was a very good concept. The car, boys on a road trip, going to meet his fiance or see her again. Not meet her, but they've met before.
One would hope.
It's not an arranged marriage, though. In Final Fantasy, there's just as good a chance as there'd be an arranged marriage than not. So it's worth pointing out that it's not an arranged marriage.
16 is definitely more cohesive, I guess is the best word.
Sure.
And I enjoyed the combat a lot more in that one than I did 15.
16 combat. And they did a really good job allowing you to decide how much combat you wanted to do. With the items, so you could make it more advanced and have to do more combos. You can make it a little bit simpler. There's a lot of assists that you could turn on or turn off. I have it like medium assists. Like you have a dog, Torgal, wolf monster pet dog guy, and I let the computer just do all of his stuff. I don't touch the Torgal button at all.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and that's great because he'll just do attacks and then he'll show up and sometimes he'll heal you and your character will just yell his name and then he'll just shoot over your head and do a rolling ball attack and then run away. It's beautiful. It's the way games should be when you want games to be that way.
Yeah, and it is nice that there's a medallion that you can equip so that instead of you having to come up with your own combos and how to actually attack, you can just mash the fight button and it'll do it for you and come up with attack combinations, which is really handy. When you understand that it's doing that for you. For a long time when I first started playing, I'm like, what the hell? How am I doing that? And then I realized that I had that set and I took it off so that I could actually, because it kept flipping through my icons for me. And I was like, no, I want to be on this icon. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it did that a little too much. So I had to turn it down so that I could control those.
That might be good for me because I'm big on button mashing.
You can really do. You can have a great experience because this is the nice thing that you can equip. There's one that just keeps healing you constantly, and then there's the do your own combo, and then there's the have assist help you. You have to kind of pay attention a little bit. You get to kind of the joy, and there's some cinematic battles that you got to kind of do some pushes on. But for the most part, you're experiencing the story, and then you punch something in the face, and then you experience the story.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty delightful. And
the opening scene was very, very well done.
Yes.
Ifrit versus Phoenix. I was sold.
Yeah. And that's how they started it, is just these two massive godlike creatures in this epic battle. And they have a lot of epic battles like that in there. And then as I've been going through to try to get some of these items, they have these bounties that you can collect, and the creatures from the bounties are also these crazy-looking, wild, big creatures. So the spectacle is very large, which is delightful. All right, so when are you going to get your big curved monitor?
Actually, maybe sooner than I was thinking originally. Because my dad has offered to purchase me a nice monitor.
Nice. That's the way to live.
He was like, anything you want.
That's the way to live.
Within reason. I was like, well, maybe it's my time.
Maybe it's your time. Do you need a controller? Have you got a controller yet?
I do not have a...
You're a pure gamer because you're mouse and keyboard.
I am.
That's it.
Got my fingers on the...
WASD?
Yeah, and then the hand. on the mouse, and then here we go. But I know Karen has a controller for her laptop, and I should probably join her.
Well, I mean, when
You
you're
don't
ready.
have to.
When I'm
Yeah.
ready, okay.
It also depends on the games that you're playing, because some
Sure.
of them are better set for keyboard gaming
Yes.
because they were made for PC. But then if you've got anything that was originally a console game,
Yeah.
it probably will feel better even if you're playing it on your PC, if you got a controller for it.
Yeah.
Okay, because the other game that I played a little bit of is called Lost in Random,
Lost in Random. Yep.
and I love it. But I feel like that one also definitely needs to be a keyboard. I don't know how you do it without. I mean, I guess
There's so many buttons.
there are
You underestimate the amount of buttons
on a
on a joystick, on a controller.
okay.
So many buttons.
because there's so many buttons you have to press in that game,
Yeah.
like a different like letters and stuff
Yeah.
to do things. But okay,
Yeah.
games find a way.
You know what? You know what, friends? If you take anything away from this episode, I want you to take away games find a way. That's what I want you to do. We just need to get you a controller because when you're ready to start speed running Building of Cats, you're gonna need that.
Yeah,
You're gonna need that.
absolutely. You know, I'm trying to get more into. I have some games that I'm on my wish list, like that I think are kind of games that are going to be up my alley, like the What Remains. Although I actually have purchased that one. Journey.
Yep.
I think that's going to be up my alley. That one's in my wish list.
I think that did they just put it on PC or re-put it on PC, something like that. Yeah.
I'm not sure about this one, but Near Automata.
Okay,
That one's
so
on my list.
That game came out in 2017.
No, it did, but I was Googling, like,
Well, we just
Yeah,
talked
we
about
just talked about it.
2017
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
but I found these games through, like, some Googles of,
Sure.
like, pretty story-based, like,
Yes, very
games.
story-driven.
because that's what I think I'm going to like, so.
Yeah, that one is a more challenging one, but also well worth it. Like that one is the lore in it is pretty amazing. We have
Okay.
a Zelda book in front of us. What do you think about the assorted Zelda games?
So I've watched a couple people play a couple different versions. I watched you.
Yes, you
For
did.
the Water Temple in
Yes,
Ocarina.
we do.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Watching the Water Temple.
The greatest spectacle of all time, me and the Water Temple. Yeah.
You did pretty good
I
at
did
that.
pretty good.
You didn't get lost like a lot of people
It
do.
wasn't too bad.
And I've watched people play Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
And I just don't know that puzzles are my thing.
Sure.
Maybe they
Zelda-like
are.
puzzles.
Yeah.
Because the Zelda versions of puzzles are almost unique to the genre of puzzles.
Did you know that there's arrows on the floor?
Hey, listen.
It's all curvy.
I'd almost forgotten.
But yeah, it makes sense. But it also, you can always look up how to do the puzzles.
Sure.
Because there's no shame in just looking up a walkthrough so that you can continue the story.
Yeah.
I tried to do as much of Ocarina of Time as I could without looking anything up. I did like...
That was not me. That was our mascot. If that makes it into the episode.
He's very comfortable, and that's what's important. You know you're doing a good job.
Just burping his little heart out.
Hey, you know what? He had some Parmesan.
I will apologize for how much I've had to move this cord around because I'm sure that that's showing up on the microphone.
It is what it is.
It's all the puppy's fault.
It's all the puppy's fault, who are now calm and relaxed. Yeah, there's no shame in looking it up. I tried to do as much as I could without looking. I probably looked 2 or 3 times because there's just some things that are just sometimes they should be more intuitive or they had an idea of what was intuitive, but it just didn't click to you. But sometimes it's pretty fantastic to figure one out. Like when you're finally looking at it and you tilt your head the right way and you're like, oh.
Yeah. You did a very good job of just immediately walking into a room and being like, oh, I think I'm going to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And you might be slow at like one step in there,
Sure.
but you still know the overall puzzle, which is something that I can never piece together very well in games.
It's only just because I've been I've been badly playing puzzles and games for a long time. Like I grew up, and as we've established, Casey's in her 20s. Melissa's also in her 20s. I am 55. I had to cut my teeth on point and click adventure game puzzles, which are nightmares. It's like, oh, you had to remember to collect the toothbrush in the bathroom 4 buildings ago to know how to defeat the stone golem, because you put some stuff on there and you spread it on his knee, and then he falls down, and then the banana falls out of his head, and you use that to trick the mountain goat to let you into the final puzzle. Like, that's what you had to be.
That would drive me insane.
Sometimes it can be pretty insane. These ones are rarely ever that bad. Like you'll mostly be able to figure it out, or you just will not be able to figure it out. Sometimes they're just incomprehensible. You just go, how was I supposed to know that I needed to use the lemon zest of infinite wisdom in this location? But pretty great in general. All right, did I miss anything? Any other game things that you've been thinking about on your mind that you haven't tackled? You've almost caught all the cats.
Almost.
You're ready for what remains. We like pinball. We're gonna get you a joystick, so we'll get you. We gotta get you and Karen on the show at the same time.
Sounds good.
Maybe we'll have you do something competitively. That'll be fun.
Ooh, she'll win.
Maybe. You know what? What if it's finding cats?
She'll still win.
You didn't give me the confidence I was really hoping for.
Oh, you know what? She's going down.
That's right. You hear this first, Karen. You're going down. Casey, you got anything to end us off with?
I think we covered everything.
I think we did too. I think we did a great job. Thanks for coming. Thanks for talking about gaming with us. I've always been very excited about your newborn gaming journey. Though it's not newborn, because apparently you've been shooting things with zappers back in the day. You're from these streets.
There was a long time between those zappers and...
That's fair.
Now.
That's fair. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I don't know what'll be next, but it'll be great. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.